Welcome to the Hot Seat, powered by Affordable Staff, David Judge, and here we are at Season 2, Episode 9 of the Hot Seat, where we release a new episode every second Tuesday and talk to industry influencers that have worked hands-on the real estate industry to find out where they see current and future trends and what you can do about it to support and grow your business. Now, in the words of our next guest, and not me, today we're interviewing self-described Industry Tragic Lisa Pentland, who comes with 31 years of industry experience and just over a year ago, as we record this video, stepped into the role of General Manager of Sales and Service for Property Me. In our interview, Lisa talks about her journey from receptionist to business owner and now service provider to the industry, how a PricewaterhouseCoopers survey shows customers are happy to pay 16% extra for a good customer experience, using software to optimize and streamline property management businesses, and how to continually listen to your customers and be prepared to be confronted with negative feedback and how that can help you to improve your business. Now, one of the areas I love about recording this podcast is I get to listen to and talk to people that have spent decades in their journey in the industry, honing their skills, which is what we hear today when we're talking to Lisa. We're hearing her journey. Okay, anyway, let's get into it and roll it. Hello and welcome, David here from the Hot Seat, powered by Affordable Staff, and we have
Eva Judge
and
Lisa Pentland.
Excellent, Lisa. Thank you very much for coming on today and sitting on the hot seat and going through and answering a couple of questions around where you think the industry has been in the past, where you think it's going, and where you think it's going in the future.
Thank you for having me.
Excellent. So we're going to jump straight into it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Okay. I guess I would consider myself right now a bit of an industry tragic.
Yes. Please expand.
Good way to start. Should we restart now?
Have been in the industry now for probably just over 30 years. In fact, probably 31 years this year.
Yes.
So quite a while. Have started very young, but in a reception role. In my father's business.
Yes.
Was dreadful, hopeless, lasted a very short period of
Where was
time
that?
there.
Did Dad fire you?
No. It actually took him a long time to hire me. So that was a sort of difficult win. But once I was in, I was in.
Great.
So I moved from reception quite quickly into sales, which was very interesting at that time. You can imagine I was actually giving my age away absolutely here, but I was 19 at the time and female.
Yes.
There weren't a lot of young females in sales at that time. Yeah, so it was interesting. And you know what? It was fantastic. It worked really well. Fortunately, my market accepted me. And
wonderful.
So what state was that?
That was Sydney, New South Wales, yeah.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. So then you transitioned, so you were in real estate, and then what happened after that in sales?
In sales, fortunately, had a lot of success in sales. At the time, we were with the Ray White Group. Actually, it was that long ago that we were foundation members for Ray White in New South Wales. So there were only 10 Ray White New South Wales businesses at that time. We were one. We were pioneers of auction in New South Wales, in the real estate industry in any case, and we really embraced it. We had our A-frame boards out the front of the auction. We had the rules of an auction sort of pasted on those boards. It was there was nothing to go by. There was no example. We were making it up as we went, and it was very exciting. And we had a lot of success. We believed in it, and it worked for us. So, as a result, I became one of the top 10 salespeople in the Ray White Group. Enjoyed that success for several years, and actually. So that worked really well. Then moved into a licensee in charge or management role for a business. So it was time to break away from my father's wing and move into a management role in another business. And I guess step my toe in the waters there of leadership, which again, new challenges that I enjoyed. It ended up being a partner in that business fairly quickly, ended up owning the rest of that business fairly quickly, and we grew a rent roll. I was a typical principal, selling principal at that time.
Understanding the value?
No idea. In fact, I literally, I'm not even joking, literally wore a path in the carpet with the widest possible berth around the property management team because I didn't want any part of it. They were cranky. They were just miserable people, and I just headed for the door that way. So that was me as a selling principal leading a team of property management. Yeah, not good. So I then eventually came to the decision to sell that property management business. It was out of control.
Yes.
I had no idea what was going on in the business. I felt as though it was a giant risk. My team weren't happy. My customers weren't happy. Had a few happy customers, but by and large, it just wasn't worth it for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I sold that, and in doing that, I learned so much about property management. I learned what I'd wasted, what I'd given away, what I'd lost in opportunity was actually massive. And fortunately, I sold it to somebody who took the time to teach me as we were doing that transition over to his business. And it was a very hard lesson. Do you know, if you'd done rent increases on this, we would have paid a lot more for this. Yeah, great.
Now you tell me.
So all of those types of things. And eventually I did keep a small number of those managements that did actually like us and refused to go, and they stayed with us, and in that I decided to learn it inside out.
Yes.
And all the things that I'd been told that couldn't be done, it's just not the way in property management previously, I implemented and tested.
Yes.
And I got into the software, and I made it work for me. I decided that I was going to really optimize our use of the software, and
that clearly helped you transition across to where you are now in your role. So.
Absolutely. I think that interest in the software component, in the automation, in making life easy. I don't understand really why people don't all embrace it so readily, because it really does make a difference to your business.
Yes.
And I crossed over. I became an absolute fan of property management and all it brings and offers and can be.
You hear the same thing with principals once they understand the asset value that's associated with a rent roll. Yeah. That the focus changes, and they, especially, I think, I can't remember who it was that told us the focus changes when it comes time to sell the asset.
Yes.
And it's like, I should
Wow,
have done
that's
more.
what it's worth. Yeah. Widen us that on this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, it's so true. And I really hope that there's so much more collaboration, access to data, social chat, trainers, coaches. There's so much more access to information for people to share and have a greater knowledge and awareness of what a good, and property management only businesses. How awesome is that?
Yeah. And there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
They're fantastic.
And they don't want anything to do with
That's
sales.
right.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Amazing.
And they're surviving and flourishing.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. So looking at right now within the industry, so with all of the experience that you've had and where you're at now within Property Me, what do you see as being one of the biggest disruptors? And I know disruptors is one of those words that people use. What do you see as being one of the things that are going to change the industry radically?
Yeah. Look, we talk about disruption a lot. And I think when we talk about the threat of disruption, I really think that we need to take ownership over the opportunity that we're providing for disruption. I honestly believe that if our industry steps up, disruption isn't a threat to us. It's not a thing. It's not going to come, because our customers are happy.
Yes.
Our service offering is strong. If our service offering is strong, our fees can be fair. Our businesses can be profitable.
But most people, well, not everybody, but most people make their buying decisions, and this goes for anything, whether it's a phone or a car or anything like that, or even the rental, based on a value aspect, not the price. So they are happy to pay the higher rates.
Absolutely.
As long as they're getting the service that's associated with it. That's what it comes down to, the quality of the service.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of data to prove that in our industry currently.
Not in this industry, but if you look at the other industries,
that's
the
right.
retail industry, for example, I mean, let's not even talk about mobile phones. But, I mean, there were, businesses years ago who were charging an extra $200, $300, $400 for the same services, the same systems, because they were selling on value. So people are happy to pay it.
PricewaterhouseCoopers did a survey last year and proved that customers are prepared to pay a premium up to 16%
Okay.
for a good service.
A good service, that's exactly it.
And actually, I shouldn't say that, a good customer experience.
Yes.
So it's so much more than just that small piece of
That's
service.
exactly right.
It's all about the experience.
Exactly.
I've sort of had a look at the components of successful disruptions, what they include, and the truth is that if you have a look at that, you'll find all of those components. So whether it's cloud-based software, whether it's customer satisfaction, ratings and check-ins, the automations, there are 5 components, and of those, they're all available right now to our industry. We just have to take the leap. And
that's scary. That can be
scary.
And I think that's what holds a lot of people back, that fear of the unknown, fear of what's my business going to look like next, and how is my team going to react to it.
But I think as a business owner, you need to you can always get stuck in that rut, if you were to call it, or stuck into that same spot because it's so comfortable. But it's like anything. There used to be, back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, there was a huge industry for the exportation of ice from America all around the world, where people were having ice wrapped and delivered to...
We are talking about cold water here, frozen water.
Yes, frozen water. And this is before. And then there was this... Yeah, that's right.
Good Lord, I just times have changed.
Wrong century. And the icebox industry totally destroyed that. And
so it would have destroyed
the
shipping,
impacted
the
shipping,
trains,
and there was a huge uproar when that happened. You have a look at Kodak, the first company that developed a digital camera.
Sadly.
And you have a look at where they're at now, because again they weren't happy to change. And I think the thing is, and we don't come from a standpoint of people that haven't embraced change. We've changed our business model so many times to adapt to what the industry is asking for. Thinking forward into the industry and looking at saying, okay, well, they're going to ask for this next. I guess, in my opinion, it's always about, you either accept and embrace and you flow. The second that you do that, it's like if you're hopping into a river and you're trying to go against the river the whole time, but the river is constantly moving that way. The second you let go and you go along with the river and you look for the opportunity, it suddenly becomes easy.
I totally agree. And it's about empowering your teams, right?
It is.
So those
you can't do it all by yourself.
Yeah.
You need to, no matter where you are at, you need the strong support network around you.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing applies, same principle applies.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of property managers that would really understand or understand what you're saying as far as swimming against the tide.
Yes.
And it just doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be that hard. Yeah.
So what would you say, moving on from that then, what would you say, and let's think of something different, as you see as being the biggest challenge within the industry right now?
Yeah, it is definitely that digital transformation. It's reinventing themselves before someone else does come in and do it for them.
Yes.
It's listening to your customers, asking the questions and being prepared to actually hear the answers and act on them. So it's very difficult to put yourself out there to be judged openly.
There's a big talk around, and there has been for years, as long as I can remember, around video. Video is the new thing. Video is the thing to do. you look out there with a lot of agents, you still don't see a lot of video, and with a lot of principals.
But they're terrified. People are terrified. And I know for myself, I was absolutely terrified the first time. You made me go on video. Made me not.
It was a choice.
I volunteered very reluctantly.
That's right.
I was sitting there and my palms were sweaty and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to say? Like, it's scary.
And you know what? That's exactly part of this transition.
Yes.
Is that it's a different role. It's a different job. You need to be able to embrace social media. You need to be able to embrace video. That's how people relate to you. That's how you impact and really sort of become a part of your community. That's what it is.
But you look at it on the flip side, and the Google algorithms, because people want that. They're pushing it forward as well. So it's got a double whammy effect. Yeah. So, yeah.
Video is the one thing across all demographics, except for I think it was 65 plus. That aside from that single one group,
I still want the magazine
video.
I'm thinking, Mum, sorry, Mum, I love you very much,
but video was the media leader in across every other demographic. So to fight against that, you're swimming against the tide.
And it's relatively easy nowadays. You can get a tripod, and you can get like a special little clip that can clip onto your phone, and you can just sit it on there and push record, and you're ready to go.
Amazing.
And even get a little lapel mic straight from your phone.
Yeah.
You can literally create your own videos for under what?
I think the Box Brownie guys,
$100.
are really big on. They'll put a note in the show notes linking to some of their videos where they talk about how easy it is to use video. Because it's fairly inspirational stuff.
And
boxbrownie.com.au.
Nice. The other thing on that is that it doesn't need to be, fully professional. You don't need to be airbrushed. All those things. People like the candid approach. They want to see the reality of it. Sitting in your car, just left an open house with 1,000 people, or maybe not. That's what they want to see.
But you're right, because I think, on the flip side, not flip side, but I guess taking that further, I think a lot of agents, they want to create that perfect production. They don't want to have this flawed, the perceived to be flawed video. But people want to see that reality. People want to see the real raw footage, not that photoshopped, not that fully edited video that people are expecting to put out there. Because the ones who do try to do that usually don't end up doing it at all, because it's never perfect.
Never going to happen.
That's right.
Imperfect action. Imperfect action is better than perfect production. So would that be the special advice you think you'd give to somebody in the industry to differentiate themselves right now?
Video? No, it would be customer sat. Just keep asking, be prepared to put yourself out there, ask the questions, rate yourself, listen to the answers, and just keep working towards perfect. Okay, you don't have to be perfect on video, but we want your portfolio for property management. We want you to have the larger percentage of tens, of nines and tens, as far as your NPS or customer sat score. That's the biggie. That's when you're getting it right. That's the only way.
Yes, putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And getting yourself rated.
Yes.
That's scary too. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the last question before we take a break and go to the hot seat. What special advice would you give to somebody entering into the industry anew right now?
Take in everything, learn. Don't be afraid to learn. Don't necessarily accept what's always been done as how it should be done. Question it. And if you feel that you can provide better, you can do better, you can learn better, you can create better, do it. Do that.
Fantastic. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to jump into the hot seat questions, where we can turn up the heat, turn up the lights, and see how it goes from there. Okay, fantastic. We'll be back in a moment. Okay, welcome back to the hot seat, powered by Affordable Staff. We have Eva and Lisa back again. And Lisa's agreed to do the hot seat questions.
Under duress.
Under duress. Eva's up next.
Oh, God.
No. Okay, so as we go through, that's right. As we go through, if you just go through, answer the questions as short as concise as possible, and the first thing that comes into your mind, and if you can't think of the way to answer a question, just basically say pass, and we'll continue on.
Okay.
Sounds good?
Yep.
Okay, excellent. Ready? Your number one bucket list item.
Travel Spain.
Yes. Strangest thing you've ever eaten.
It is. I think it's crocodile.
Did it taste like chicken?
It did. Or was it camel? I think it's camel.
Camel.
Oh, I've eaten camel too. Camel's lovely.
Yeah. Okay.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Probably very different to how other people might describe me, but I definitely passionate, focused, and big picture.
Excellent. How do you spend the first 3 hours of your day?
Most mornings, some form of exercise before I head off to work via a cup of coffee and a train ride.
Excellent. Favorite drink?
Water.
Something interesting nobody knows about you.
Whoa.
Is this the right forum?
Yeah, that's right.
We're talking about ice before.
No. Something interesting nobody knows. I think
We'll come back to
I'm
it.
an open book.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. Would you prefer to be invisible or be able to fly?
I would prefer to be able to fly.
Right.
I dream I can fly.
Excellent. A mistake that ended up being a success?
Oh, there'd be way too many.
Selling a rental?
Absolutely. Yeah, the lessons in that. Yeah, lots of things.
What is your biggest non-negotiable?
Truth.
Morning or night?
Morning.
Weapon of choice?
I had thought of something. Data.
Data. Yeah, that is an incredible weapon of choice. A lot of people don't understand the power of data. Biggest fear?
Biggest fear. Yeah, pass.
If you weren't doing what you were doing now, what would you be doing?
I guess I'd probably be doing something really, I don't know, relaxing.
That's right. If I wasn't on the hot seat, I'd be relaxing. University or School of Hard Knocks?
School of Hard Knocks.
What advice would you give to an 18-year-old version of you?
Do it all over again.
Friday or Monday?
Monday.
One item you could not live without?
My husband. Is he an item? No.
I don't know. Is he? Cats or dogs?
I actually love both. I have a dog, but if my lifestyle afforded it, I'd probably have a cat as well.
And last question: how many keys do you have in your keyring?
I have one key and a swipe.
Yes, yes, and it's becoming a lot more common actually. I think I can't find our keys, but we just carry just a little fob key.
Yeah.
Anyway. Thank you very much. Congratulations. You made it through unscathed, no crying or tears or anger or fists or anything like that.
Those were in between.
Yes,
No,
that's right. Yeah. So we're at the point of the time of the hot seat where you can basically give us a shameless plug and tell us what's going on in your business right now.
Wow. Okay. How long do we have? There is so much going on. Huge amount going on in our business. Incredible growth over the last year plus that I've been with the company. Incredible development. So our dev is just continuously pumping out great new features, new tweaks. We've got some awesome things coming out next week, which is very exciting. And I would just say, if you with the way that we do develop, it is unusual in our industry, and I think that probably you need to revisit Property Me regularly because the product that you saw in the last 3 months may not be the product that we have today. It just keeps getting better and better. As a team, we have an incredible team, and they're genuinely dedicated to helping people both onboard and assist them with the transition onto a cloud-based product, as well as train them and support them when they need it. So incredible support structure that we've built.
And I think that's been a lot of your focus since you've been on board, isn't it?
It has. Yeah. Rebuilding that. Growth is tough.
Yes.
It is a great problem to have, absolutely. But keeping up with the demands, when you've just doubled your customer base in 12 months. Imagine for my portfolio managers.
If you're a property manager and you did that.
Yeah, exactly. In a year, if you're going to double that portfolio and it's just month on month, it's sort of a bit relentless, and keeping up and training people so that they're ready to go and competent. So I think we've got that right now, and we're a step ahead. But we see challenges like every business from time to time. But we're absolutely dedicated to supporting the industry, to empowering them, to try and safeguard them from that disruption, and I guess business proof them.
Yes.
So what you're saying basically is that if you had a demo of Property Me, say 6 months ago, it might be a good idea, if you haven't done the change yet or the migration yet, if you're considering it, obviously, book another demo again?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
It's an entirely
and
different process.
how would people
how does one do that?
Oh, yes, of course.
You're so much better at this than me. You can go to our website, propertyme.com.au,
Yes.
and there's a big flashing light there, book a demo.
Great.
Yeah.
And we'll link to that in the show notes as well.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Lisa, very much for coming on and talking to us on the hot seat. Thank you, Eva, for helping out as well and interviewing. And thank you everybody for watching, and we look forward to seeing everybody again next time on the hot seat. Thank you for listening to this episode with Lisa Pentland. And I ask before you go, if you enjoyed this episode, that you subscribe to our podcast, which you can find if you search for the hot seat wherever you listen to your podcasts, especially on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Also, I want to remind you that the hot seat is powered by affordable staff, and if I am 100% honest, we could not put the hot seat together without outsourcing. There's so much background work that goes into creating a podcast, and you couldn't do it without outsourcing to our overseas team. I record the content, I send it offshore where they handle the video, they handle the audio edits, they handle the website, the podcast distribution, the marketing, and so much more. So a special thank you to our team in the Philippines. Okay, that's it. Thanks again for all your support, and we'll catch you in the next episode of The Hot Seat.